We have Neerja Chaudhary right here in the studio, Amitabh Tiwari joining us as well. But before I go to them, a word from Pradeep Bhandari, who was managing the communications department in these elections. Pradeep, 42 is what BJP is standing at the moment, a gain of 34 from 2020.
Well, Maria, what has happened is historic, and it is historic because Delhi has voted Prime Minister Narendra Modi's governance. Delhi has also given a befitting response to Mr. Arvind Kejriwal and his misgovernance. The important aspect here, Maria, is that if you analyze our campaign was completely focused on the civic issues of Delhi. We were raising the basic issues of residents of Delhi, which was clean drinking water, which was Tuti Sadak, which was Delhi becoming a garbage den under Arvind Kejriwal, and which was Arvind Kejriwal's lies, falsehood, corruption and deceit. And Delhi voters believed in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's commitment and guarantee. It is also very important because historically Delhi has been a tripolar state, and in a bipolar contest, if the Bharatiya Janata Party is defeating the Aam Aadmi Party, despite Aam Aadmi Party having some traditional pockets and stronghold, this also tells you on the ground that there was massive anger against Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, and people believed in the hope of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And overall, if you look at the entire election was fought on only three issues. A, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's credibility and commitment. B, anger against Arvind Kejriwal's corruption. And three, civic issues of Delhi, which we could raise in our three Sankalp Patra, which we released in successive time, which was a precedent in an election. Earlier, we used to release our Sankalp Patra once.
Pradeep, let me ask you a question there. Let me ask you a question there, since you start with Prime Minister Modi's enduring and never-ending appeal. Let me ask you a question there, Pradeep. Thanks, first of all, for waiting patiently. But let me ask you this. It's finally, after 3 decades, 3 decades, a very, very long time. As one of my panelists said, this is a new millennium that BJP is coming to power in the capital. It's finally that crucial middle class vote, and it's finally that the bottom of the pyramid, which has always walked behind Mr. Modi like the Pied Piper, and Mr. Modi's enduring and ever-ending appeal has been able to salvage the day for the BJP. Is it?
Absolutely yes, Nikunji. If you study the difference between 2020 and now, in 2020 we could not get a significant portion of the middle class vote to the polling booth. This time Prime Minister Narendra Modi's commitment, appeal and his complete guarantee helped us ensure that our state unit's effort could catalyze to a victory. So yes, we got the middle class to the polling booth, but if you look at the data even in detail, we could make a significant dent in the urban poor vote also. So overall, if you look at it, this time we have got vote from all class segments, all caste segments. Proportion might be differentiated, but the factor for us between now, why did we have to wait for 30 years and now we are able to deliver it, is Prime Minister Narendra Modi, that leader which people of the country believe in, and because of which we are will be forming the government in Delhi now.
All right.
Thank you, Pradeep. Very eloquently said. Your psephologist inside you waking up today very firmly and very clearly delineating issues there. We'll come back to you. Ms. Shama Mohammed, also of the Congress Party, joins us. Shama, welcome to NDTV. And what are your opening remarks on the kind of results that you are seeing right now playing out? Would you still like to wait out, or do you think that this is concretizing in the way that it is concretizing in favor of the BJP? Or do you think there is still a chance of your ally, at least in the Lok Sabha, coming back?
You see, what I feel is, for us, it's an important election, and we have increased our vote share. We are not an NGO, let me make it very clear. We're a political party. We get into elections to fight and to win at the end of the day. Yes, unfortunately, what I see right now is there is no positive angle to any of the seats of ours, but at least our vote share has gone up. And I think people of Delhi have recognized somebody who has lied throughout to them. Now, let's understand what is the basis of Arvind Kejriwal getting into politics. It's called India Against Corruption movement. When we were in power, the UPA was in power. He insisted on something called the Lokpal. We passed the Lokpal bill. Where is that Lokpal? You know what exposed him the most? When the High Court asked him to table the CAG report by calling a special assembly. The CAG report says very clearly that there has been a liquor scam, more than 2,000 crore. Now, if he was this incorruptible man who is actually against corruption, he would have called a special assembly session and tabled the report. Because he was involved, that is why he has not tabled the report, and that has exposed him very much. The other thing, you live in Delhi.
So coming back of this equation that there'll be no Arvind Kejriwal also in the India bloc, or there'll be no Congress in the India bloc going ahead, what will be the equation between the two parties after this result?
Mari, you can't put words into my mouth. I did not say that there will be no India bloc or any of that. What I'm trying to tell you is that there is somebody, all right, like Arvind Kejriwal, and I've given the example in another channel of Haryana. The Congress party has always accommodated the allies, whether it's DMK, Shiv Sena, Samajwadi, and also Arvind. Now, in the Haryana elections, they have, when the results came out, 1.5% of vote share. What should have Arvind done? Arvind should have said, you know what? You're our ally. We are not getting into Haryana. We want you to fight and defeat the BJP. We will support you. No. What does he do? I want to fight. We'll also fight every seat. We want 10 number of seats. Now, you have 1.5% vote share. Why would you want 10? He could have sacrificed. No, it's always the Congress party sacrificing for everybody else. So we understood his true colors about his megalomaniac behavior, about him, me, myself, and I. And that also the other day, when we understood what he exactly was, is when the CAG report came. And about a little bit when he went to jail in May. Why did he give the baton to Gopal Rai, who's a senior minister of his party, and made him the chief minister, just like Hemant Soren made Champa Soren the chief minister, because you are concerned about the people of that state. But of course, Arvind is concerned more about himself. And I still remember, and I will never forgive him for one thing. He had said, "Kaun hai Sonia Gandhi, ek vidwa." Sonia Gandhi at least has experience. She's been in the party. She knows what it is. Why was his wife called every time? Why was his wife campaigning for Aam Aadmi Party? What was her role? Is she a member of the party? No. So he is so insecure that he did not give a senior leader like Gopal Rai. No, Gopal Rai is nowhere, But of course, he makes Atishi
Shama, I'm going to come back to you.
Very strong words there coming from Shama Mohammed, megalomaniac, and some very unkind cut you are delivering, Shama, to Arvind Kejriwal. We'll come back to you, but nonetheless, a very prolific assessment of the situation between the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress done by Shama Mohammed there.
Okay,
let me go to my reporters.
Yes.
Let me go to my reporters once again. That's where the pulse of this election is. That's where pulse of all the elections always is. Not where we sit, but where my reporters stand, young, spirited, enthusiastic. Tanu, coming to you first. What's the scene there? It looks like scales are swinging again back in the favor of Mr. Parvesh Verma, BJP's chief ministerial hopeful.
As Parvesh Verma takes the lead in round 7 of the vote counting. His vote share right now is that of 14,464, and Arvind Kejriwal, Aam Aadmi Party national convener, is trailing by 238 votes. So Parvesh Singh Verma, very tough contender from the New Delhi constituency seat, which is the hot seat of this election season, is at this point leading ahead of Arvind Kejriwal from the Aam Aadmi Party. It's a very slim margin. Only a few moments ago, Arvind Kejriwal was leading ahead from this seat. And just now, the tables have turned. Parvesh Singh Verma has taken the lead. From this constituency counting center where I am at in Gold Market, the Greater Kailash constituency seat calculations of voters is also being done, which is from where Shikha Rai, the BJP candidate, is also leading, and Saurabh Bhardwaj from the Aam Aadmi Party is trailing. So as you can see around me, these celebrations are clearly by the BJP workers to celebrate the lead of Parvesh Verma as well as Shikha Rai, and also Anil Kumar Sharma from the RK Puram constituency seat. Clearly very colourful mood here. It's a very important seat here with a triangular contest between former Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal, Parvesh Verma and Sandeep Dixit from the Congress, who is still trailing very much behind from both the candidates. Back to you.
Tanushka, thank you so much for joining us. We are also being joined by Aishwarya, and I can see Ghazali standing by. Aishwarya, that's where Parvesh Verma is. What are you picking up? He must be having some more data from the counting centers. What is he saying?
Well, I don't know where I'm standing is the residence of future Chief Minister of Delhi, or it would be somebody else, but certainly it is Parvesh Verma who is still inside his residence, glued to the television screens and communicating to the workers who are present at the polling booth after 7 rounds. Of course, Parvesh Verma now leading again with 238 votes. It is Parvesh Verma who is completely silent. They want to wait till the end because it's a hard-fought battle between Arvind Kejriwal and Parvesh Verma. We also Arvind Kejriwal levelling allegations during the campaigning of Parvesh Verma distributing shoes to distributing bed sheets. An addition of the voters, that is household 13 to 14 voters were added. Election commissions doors were knocked by Arvind Kejriwal against Parvesh Verma. But at last it is the D-Day what we are witnessing. We will be getting the voice and we'll be getting Parvesh Verma only after the results, as he has communicated that I will just wait till the end results and only after that I'll speak. But certainly after 7th round it is Parvesh Verma back again leading, and now workers also coming in at his residence.
Okay, Ash, thank you so much. Let's bring in Ghazali now. Ghazali, what can you tell us? How many rounds over? How many more to go?
See, I can report to you about 4 seats here from what we can see from Okhla. Amanatullah Khan is leading by around 10,000 votes. Ramesh Beduri after 5th round is leading by around 2,300 votes. From Kasturba Nagar, the constituency, Neeraj is leading by 5,700 votes, and Manish Sisodia from his constituency is leading by 3,400 votes after 6th round. So a mixed response coming out from here. On 2 seats, Aam Aadmi Party's candidates are leading, while Atishi from Harkalka ji seat is trailing, and from Kasturba Nagar as well, BJP is leading. So this is why now you will see earlier, just like half an hour ago, there were lesser number of supporters from all the parties. But now I'll ask my camera person to show you that right now the supporters and the crowd is building up, and that is why the police also had to beef up the security here. You will see on both sides of the road, and regular announcements are being made by the police here, by the security officials here, not to raise slogans because section 144 is imposed in and around the counting center. So this is what we are picking here right now. Atishi and Manish Sisodia are still inside the counting center. They haven't left it. We saw Al Kalamba leaving from here, and right now the supporters from Aam Aadmi Party and BJP have gathered outside here, but no dhol nagada as what you are hearing from other seats.
Seats in all there at that counting center. And are you seeing now that it is coming to the hustings? We are almost close to 12 p.m. and it's coming to the hustings. Are you seeing any prominent candidates on the ground there? Their managers, are they trooping in, looking at the final tallies, or is it only just the supporters? Describe the scene for us.
Okay, so I'll just show you the scenes here. निकालो इसको, निकालो कैमरा निकाल लो. The Aam Aadmi Party is saying that perhaps this is the time when what you are saying, that this is the time when you should draw the conclusion that where this results are headed. But Aam Aadmi Party says that this is the time when we peak. This is the right time for us to peak, so don't call out the elections now. The results will swing in our favor. No big candidates except the two, Atishi from Kalkaji, Manish Sisodia from from another seat, Jangpura. These two are the big faces right now. We haven't seen the BJP candidate over here yet. Supporters have gathered on both sides of the road. If you see on this side, supporters of Aam Aadmi Party and BJP for Okhla seat are celebrating. On this side also, supporters of BJP and Aam Aadmi Party have gathered, but we haven't seen the leaders or the big faces except the 2-3 I named, who are right now inside the center. And at this center, there are 4 seats for which counting is happening. Okhla, then we have Kalkaji, Jangpura and Kasturba Nagar.
All right, Ghazali, thank you so much for joining us. A quick recap for our viewers. Remember, the Aam Aadmi Party had won Jangpura seat in 2015 and 2020 with Praveen Kumar. I mean, he was the person. The Aam Aadmi Party's broad strategy was that if Manish Sisodia changes his seat from Patparganj to this one, there would be some kind of countering of anti-incumbency, but at the moment it appears it's not to be. But when you look at this seat, it's just a margin of 324 votes, the gap between the party number 1 and party number 2. But New Delhi constituency, that's the constituency to watch out for. Amitabh Tiwari, come in now. 1,229 is the gap between Parvesh Verma and Arvind Kejriwal.
And it seems to be consolidating now in favor of Mr. Verma.
Yeah, it will go down the wire because just 13 rounds and I think 6 or 7 rounds have been completed. If you see the votes polled by Sandeep Dixit and if you add the votes to Aam Aadmi Party candidate, which is Kejriwal, it's likely that Kejriwal would have emerged victorious, and we'll have to see on how many seats is actually Congress damaging the Aam Aadmi Party. That would be an analysis to be later at a later point of time. At this point, 39% of the votes have been counted. So it's, as you said, the leads are now crystallizing. It could be 40-30, 45-25, whatever. And a very good ticker you're putting is Modi middle class trumps Kejriwal.
We have a brilliant writer on the desk giving out all those lines. Asim is giving out all those lines.
And I would add Mahila.
Girija also had some words.
Yeah,
I would add Mahila because Aam Aadmi Party clearly was on the back foot in this election. They could have only won if they got unwavering support from the Mahila community. However, it seems that this Mahila Samman Yojana, since they have not transferred even a single installment in the accounts of the people, that seems to have not backfired.
Or they were unable to. Let's say they would have wanted to. But
they would have wanted to, but they have not.
Because that would have worked for them.
Cleared the bill to the LG. They had approved the budget 1 year back in February. This is a big strategic mistake on the part of Aam Aadmi Party. Even if LG would have deterred, that would have worked in the favor of Aam Aadmi Party. They could have played the victimhood card. So Modi, middle class and the Mahila, it seems, have all worked in favor of the BJP.
So 2% increase in the, polling percentage for the women actually meant women came out to vote more. They were voting for a promise of Prime Minister Modi because they trusted him more over Arvind Kejriwal then?
I wouldn't say the entire chunk of Mahila,
but a significant chunk.
But the middle class chunk of Mahila, I think this time turned towards the BJP. You're right, more women came out to vote. That's also very, very significant. And Mahila has by and large stuck with Kejriwal in the last 2 elections.
25% lead. 60% voted for AAP and only 35% for BJP in 2020.
Oh, that's a significant number. That
settles the election. Out of 14%, 15% lead, 12% was coming from women.
That's right. That's absolutely.
That settles the poll.
But I would say, what's striking me is that the BJP is winning on its own steam.
Yeah.
Because, the Congress has not gained except 1.5%. So I don't think it has been responsible for the defeat of AAP in many constituencies as we thought it would be. But if the Congress had tied up with AAP, then it would have been a very interesting thing to see whether they would have gone beyond. Of course, they would have percentage-wise gone beyond the percentage of the BJP.
But Nirja, in the past also we have seen that in politics 2 + 2 is always not 4
No,
or
but
5.
in this case, this is true. But in this case, the Congress's vote bank is essentially Muslim and the Dalits. And that vote bank would have gone clearly to the Aam Aadmi Party.
The fact of the matter is this. In Haryana elections, and Ms. Shama Mohammed had certainly some very strong words against their former or at least Lok Sabha ally, The fact of the matter is that in Haryana elections, they did not come together. In Delhi elections, they didn't come together. Omar Abdullah is taking a big swipe, big jibe at his own conglomerate allies, right? So, I mean, it's not the BJP's job to put them together or make them fight together. It's their own job, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so news
absolutely.
coming
And they're
in
not
now.
clear about what
News
India
coming
stands
in
for today.
that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to arrive at the new BJP headquarters, of course, the ITO one at 7:30 p.m. It's a special day for him. It's a special day for his party. And certainly the message that he will be giving to the Karyakartas, the party workers, will become important. 7:30 p.m. is when the man of the moment arrives. Nirja, a word on the Prime Minister. I mean,
it does a lot. This,
Yes.
to my mind, Delhi victory is even more important than Maharashtra victory.
And it is Mr. Modi's victory in so many ways,
Yeah,
right?
it shows.
Is it right or not?
Yeah, it is. I think, of course, it's equal to urban governance that people of India now want, and I think urban centers really want. But it shows that the Prime Minister's popularity has not waned. It remains.
so then Lok Sabha election results were an aberration.
Not an aberration. I think people of India wanted to give a bit of a jhatka.
Jhatka, jolt.
Even now, people of Delhi want to give Kejriwal a jhatka. You know, this 400 plus and larger than life. Aram se matlab ठहराव से रहो.
Amitabh, your thoughts on the same question? I would say that the enduring appeal of Mr. Narendra Modi and finally him coming out and actually pulling it off for the BJP. Because look, whatever way you look at it, BJP has tried everything in the past as well. Of course, Mr. Kejriwal stands today more dented and bruised than he was five years back. But still the heavy lifting has been done by the man himself. Would you agree with that formulation or not?
Yes, see, in this election, when Kejriwal started asking, Kejriwal versus who? And since BJP did not have a leader, Modi had to pitch in. And the fact that brand Modi had got a bit dented helped the Prime Minister. If you see, people were writing off brand Modi after the Lok Sabha election, that it's on a decline or at a peak, correct? And strategically, he took a step back also in Haryana and Maharashtra. But here he has taken full steam because the state unit does not have a leader, does not have an organization to take on Kejriwal. And another point which Maria was making, see, there are three leaders who had taken on brand Modi: Kejriwal, Mamata, Naveen Patnaik. Naveen Patnaik lost 2024 Lok Sabha election and Vidhan Sabha election. Now Kejriwal, now the battle shifts to Mamata. Otherwise, most of the battles, individual battles, now Narendra Modi has settled, except for in the southern states where BJP is on a weaker wicket.
You know, I'd just like to add one line here.
Yeah,
Certain people in Maharashtra said this to me, that after the Lok Sabha elections, they felt थोड़ा ज़्यादा ही झटका दे दिया हमने मोदी को. थोड़ा sense of guilt आ गया कि इतना नहीं चाहते थे कि majority भी नहीं आए. Now, how true this is, I don't know. But
People did have that.
Yeah, and interestingly, the BJP also captured that sentiment. And senior party leaders who were involved in this entire strategy for Delhi did say that perhaps people felt that wo jhatka zyada de diya. That jolt should have been a little more careful one, moderated one. Let's bring in Mr. Ashutosh of the Aam Aadmi Party. Ashutosh, it's more or less clear that this is where it all began 10 years ago. Delhi, as we look at it, that seems to have moved away from the Aam Aadmi Party completely, and experts are of the opinion that Punjab could be next.
No, I think, of course, I would still, like, just looking at the ECI data, there are about 7 seats where the difference is less than 3,000 votes. So I think we should just still wait for an hour or so before the picture becomes crystal clear. Having said that, of course, we respect the mandate of the people of Delhi. If at the end of the day the result stays as what we are seeing, it calls for a lot of introspection, it calls for a lot of internal reflection as to what went wrong, and we'll course correct. This is still a 12-year-old political startup, one of the fastest growing startups in political parties in the country. In mere 12 years of our existence, we formed state governments in 2 states and have MLAs in more than 4 states. So of course we'll course correct, we'll internally reflect, but I would still urge everyone to just wait for another hour or so before the picture becomes clearer.
I must say that by the political standards of today, you are a modest man. I must say that. And you are willing to introspect, and you are willing to think about what went wrong in your party. I must say that in the political discourse that we live in this age, you are a modest man. But I must ask you one question, Mr. Ashutosh, before we go to Mr. Nalin Kohli. And that question is that, look, this is where it all began. This is where it all began for Aam Aadmi Party. And it appears, at least at this point in time, that the personal image of the AAP Supremo, Mr. Kejriwal, has been at least been badly dented. He stands a bruised man today. Just as many years back, he did it to someone else, another stalwart, Mrs. Sheila Dikshit. Now, when it starts from the top, and when it shakes the very bedrock of, as you say, a political startup, it's never easy to regroup. And BJP politically is not Congress party. It's a formidable foe. I mean, it's not going to be ever easy now for you in the Delhi politics.
You see, the way, just looking at the way the last 2 years went for Aam Aadmi Party, right? All our prominent leaders were jailed in a case which didn't hold any grounds when it came to the Supreme Court. You look at the way the LG stood against us, the kind of ordinances that were passed, all the brute force of the LG and the centre went in stopping the works of Delhi. The investigative agencies, be it ED, CBI, you literally just look at the events of yesterday when ACB stood outside our convener's residence without even a legal notice. So when you look at the macro picture, AAP was not fighting just against the BJP, but it was also fighting against the brute force of the investigative agencies. They were fighting against the election commission. They were fighting against the money power of the BJP. They are fighting against the Godi media. Having said that, as I would say, again, we respect the mandate of people of Delhi. Let's still wait for next 1 hour or so before we get what the exact picture looks like, and we will introspect. We will definitely reflect on what went wrong. We'll definitely reflect on how do we recuperate, and don't worry, it's still a 12-year-old startup. Don't write us off. Our obituaries have been written a lot of times, and we have been able to still form government in Punjab.
Not in this manner and vein.
Able to still have MLAs
Not really. Your obituary has never been written. And certainly today is a day that the party should be a little more humble. Nalin Kohli of the BJP joins us. Nalin, what we can tell our viewers now is that 10 Haryana bordering seats, BJP leads on 7, result is awaited in 1. 13 UP bordering seats, BJP leads on 8 out of 12 seats. That's a fascinating detail that is coming in. And after 6 of 13 rounds of counting, Arvind Kejriwal is trailing in New Delhi. And there are 21 border seats. BJP is currently leading on 14 of them. So Haryana and Uttar Pradesh, these are states governed by you. They are also pumping in when it comes to this Delhi victory for the BJP.
No, I think there's another way of looking at it, Maria. It is that people living on the borders can see the change on the other side. And in Delhi, they have much to complain about. Let's really look at the Aam Aadmi Party. It's nice to say of Ashutosh that, we will introspect, we are a 12-year-old startup. But let's also look at the hard facts. Mr. Kejriwal and his colleagues came on the promise of India against corruption, an alternative politics that swayed the imagination of everyone in the city and swept the election results with 67 seats. And this political startup said, we will not take a house, I will not take a car, there will be no corruption, we will ensure that the people of Delhi will get world-class facilities, the Yamuna will be clean, world-class aspirations will be met. What do we have 10 years later? We have not a single promise met. The Yamuna is more polluted. The air of Delhi is worse off. When he was blaming Punjab earlier, now Punjab is the Aam Aadmi Party government, so you are quiet. You have all the subjects, you find blame with the LG. You are in confrontation with everybody. And forget about not taking a house, you build a sheesh mahal. Forget about corruption. The entire top leadership is in jail, was in jail, denied bail for a long time because there is credible questions against them. The so-called right to information activist does not want the CAG report to be tabled in the assembly. BJP MLAs have to go to court asking for it. I mean, where are you? So when the word is used, we are a 12-year-old political startup. Yes, like a startup, they had a dream start. The investors, in this case, the voters gave them a great opportunity, a great run for 10 years. But somewhere, as in startups, the investors have pulled their hands back. As in startups, they are now demanding accountability. And all of it will point out to the Supremo and the huge gap between the narrative he builds and the zero work that happens on the ground. Now, on the other hand, we have, let's not use a startup, but we are a political ideology, an ideology that makes a promise in the form of a Sankalp Patra, an ideology that says we will serve it as a Pradhan Sevak or as a first Karyakarta. We will show you our performance and therefore we get re-elected. Therefore our states are showing that we are moving towards 2047 in a realistic manner. Can the capital of Delhi, India, the capital of Delhi, I beg your pardon, the capital of India, which is Delhi, can it afford to be an isolated, deprived, infrastructurally challenged, lack of governance model city in the middle of a evolving India towards becoming a 2047 developed country? How is it that earlier BJP, Congress, anything could work in harmony and Delhi could progress? Why is it in 10 years there's only been confrontation and excuses? So can a model of bluster continue forever? Can a model of fake promises continue forever? No. This is not about a great political startup. It is about a story gone crazily wrong. That we will select every candidate and we will see not a tainted comes to a party that is fully tainted. And actually, if they want to introspect, they should actually reach out to everyone they threw out of the party who was part of that initial startup and ask for their views today.
Nalin, I get your views. We are looking at 45 for the BJP at the moment. Aam Aadmi Party at 25. BJP up 37. Aam Aadmi Party down 37. But an interesting statistics here. And Amitabh, come in on this. After 1993, this is for the first time that in the history of Delhi, that women voter turnout is greater than men. And 1993 was when the BJP won. And we are looking at again, women voter coming out and voting in favor of the BJP and ensuring them a state.
Yeah, so essentially around 1% women turnout has been higher than men. And in Delhi, incidentally, has the lowest proportion of women voters across India, only 46%. So that's an important point.
Migrant city.
Yeah, migrant city, families back home.
Yeah.
You were mentioning about Purvanchali seats and the seats on the border, etc. If you recall 2013, BJP was the single largest party, around 32 seats they had won. Yes. At that point of time, out of the 17 Purvanchali dominated seats, they had won 10. Out of the 7 Jat influenced seats, they had won 1. All, which is that 10 bordering the Haryana. And out of the 17 Punjabi Khatri community dominated seats, they had won 7. So they, as a strategy, they tried to regain those 32 seats or go back to the tally of 32 and then build on that. See, the Aam Aadmi Party had significant lead over SC reserved seats and Muslim community dominant seats. 25% plus margin. But on the balance 50 seats, on the balance 50 seats, the margin is only 10%, which is within the 5% swing range. And that is where the party has focused, and it seems to have worked for the party.
And another data here, and this is about demographic dominance here, Nirja. Out of 7 overall OBC dominated seats, which has like 30% of OBC, the BJP is currently leading on 6 seats. Which is Narela, Mundka, Najafgarh, Bijwasan and others. There are 35 seats in the state with more than 15% Purvanchalis, which is East UP, Bihar and Jharkhand. And in that, 24 BJP is leading. So out of 35, 24 BJP is leading. And then there are 13 seats in the state with more than 15% Haryanvis. BJP is leading in 11 seats. Yeah. So when it is about that caste dominance, the region dominance, BJP is doing very, very well.
And the OBC...
And Nirja, I have a constant quarrel with this now. Maybe it is because of the overwhelming dominance of BJP and Mr. Modi, but I have a constant quarrel with this thought. Please weigh in on this. This dictum of Indians voting their caste and not casting their vote. I think that it is behind us now. It is my sense that it plays to some extent in certain parts like Bihar and Eastern Uttar Pradesh and some other. But beyond that, the country has moved, according to me, the voter has now moved beyond the caste, creed, color, even in a way, the starter combinations is my sense. What do you say?
I would say, aapke muh mein ghee shakkar, if that is true. But I think in Delhi that is true. This time one found caste was not a fact. It wasn't Hindu-Muslim, it wasn't caste. I'm sure caste played some factor.
Yes.
But it was very much 3-4 things that weighed in with particularly the middle class, but also with others. One was, people are questioning reveries, so-called reveries. And the middle class felt these reveries were given to the poor at our expense. Then this whole thing of double engine weighed in with a whole section of people. I've spoken to many who said this, that if Kejriwal comes back, even though he's doing well in terms of the kind of governance model, he will not be allowed to do what he says he will do, because he will neither have the backing of the center nor will he have the resources given to him. So it will be impediment, jhagda all the time. So let's vote for the BJP. And the third factor was people wanted change. 10 saal ho gaye, let's try for change. And I feel there wasn't an anger opinion against Kejriwal, but there was dissatisfaction or hona chahiye. Disenchantment, disaffection that had set in. And change always, that it may work for us.
And I think, the time has come, Maria, that, we also, as a community, as a community of journalists, should move beyond this caste, color, creed. Because the country, to my sense, is when you go to places, even in the most remotest places, is actually struggling to move beyond.
You see, Nikunj, this time what is exciting about the Delhi campaign, Yamuna, for the first time, water in Yamuna is a central issue.
It's now, political issue.
It is a central
What
issue.
Political issue?
Pollution, poor and rich all talk about
Exactly.
it. Hamare bachcho ka kya ho raha hai? That was a major issue for people. Of course, roads and all that. But these two issues dominated the discourse.
Yeah, I'll just go back to my reporters. Very valiantly they have been fielding since morning. As I said, the heart of an election beats there. And here, Tanushka again from the hot seat, and Anushka there. Coming to Anushka, to you first. What's the scene like? Is the AAP cadre now finally giving in to the weight of the people's mandate? Anushka, are they finally accepting, or is there still a glimmer of hope?
No, what we are seeing here is that people were, in fact, when the initial trends started coming in, people were quite hopeful that these are just initial trends and they will be, in fact, gaining seats. But we are right now also seeing that the Aam Aadmi Party is trailing behind with BJP many seats ahead of them. I'll quickly show you some visuals from the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters. Punjab Speaker Kultar Singh is inside. Several of the party leaders like Anurag Dhanja and Jasmine Shah is also sitting inside. Also, a few meters from here, there's this residence of Arvind Kejriwal. Manish Sisodia and Arvind Kejriwal are sitting together watching at the trends, but also we are seeing that we also saw some sporadic celebrations happening here, but right now everything has stopped, and Aam Aadmi Party, it looks like they have finally accepted the mandate of people because they are trailing very far behind now. It looks like with the trends what are coming in, it looks like the Aam Aadmi Party is a distant second party contesting in this election, but also we are seeing people here are quite grim, and where there were sporadic celebrations, now everything is looking quite still. We are seeing the big screen here, people are looking at the numbers, but the chairs are empty. The celebrations that initially we saw here happening in the morning, everything has stopped now, but also we are seeing that inside meeting is happening. People from the Aam Aadmi Party, leaders from the Aam Aadmi Party, they are sitting inside discussing as to what went wrong, and also where there was a hope, because we saw many of the Aam Aadmi Party leaders echoing that they had to fight against a whole system and that people were still in the favor of Aam Aadmi Party. They were banking on the developmental issue, the welfare schemes, but also we are seeing on ground the Aam Aadmi Party is looking quite grim. There were sporadic celebrations, but now also we are seeing that everything has come to an abrupt stop. People have in fact now left from the main area where the celebrations were going on. I'll request my camera person to pan around and show the
the whole area where the screen has been set up, the stage had been set up. In the morning we saw many leaders coming here saying that they will be winning this seat. It was the toughest battle that Aam Aadmi Party had to face. Now remember, on the first term Aam Aadmi Party won with 67 seats. On the second term it was 62 seats, but right now we are seeing that the Aam Aadmi Party has just won 25 seats. Now BJP is leading with 45 seats and Congress has yet again failed to win any seats as of now, is what the trends are also showing. But also we are seeing that the Aam Aadmi Party, who was quite confident, they even rejected the exit polls predictions that came in. They said that this was just in fact being done by the BJP people to create pressure and siphon in fact the MLAs from the Aam Aadmi Party. But what the mandate is looking like, it is quite against the Aam Aadmi Party and looks like people have decided against their rule. This was quite a tumultuous year for the Aam Aadmi Party also, with several of its leaders facing serious charges on ground. Also many people said that they wanted a change, and looks like Delhi has decided for that change, and people have once again voted for the issues that were quite existing in the Delhi constituency, several of the constituencies if we talk about that. And right now also we are showing you the visuals from Aam Aadmi Party headquarters. Mere few meters from here there is this residence of Arvind Kejriwal, where Manish Sisodia and Arvind Kejriwal are together looking at the trends that have been coming here. Many leaders have also said that these are just initial trends and picture will be clearer once a few more hours passes by. But what we are seeing is that since the morning BJP is ahead of many seats, but the Aam Aadmi Party looks like they are trailing leaders from Aam Aadmi Party, where we saw several of the leaders. Also we tried to talk to them, but many of the leaders refused after a few hours. In the morning Jasmine Shah had said that they will be winning not with a majority of seats, but they will win with a comfortable margin. But looks like people have given the mandate against the Aam Aadmi Party. Back to studio.
Brilliant summation by a young, very spirited Anushka. Going to Tanu now. Tanu again in the midst of the hot political waters. What's going on? What's the latest? And every time I go to you, I hear those nagadas and I feel like dancing, though I'm not going to do that.
The spirits are high here, sir. As you can see behind me, celebrations are underway as Parvesh Singh Sahib Verma from the BJP continues to take the lead on this seat, the New Delhi constituency seat here. And Parvesh Singh Sahib Verma is leading by 1,229 votes at this point, and Arvind Kejriwal is trailing from this seat. Arvind Kejriwal, the former Chief Minister, is trailing on the New Delhi constituency seat. Remember, this is a very hot contest here on this seat, wherein the Aam Aadmi Party National Convener and Parvesh Verma have had, like a very constant verbatim battle. War of words have broken out, be it with respect to voter manipulation, be it with respect to fake voters addition to the list, be it the Yamuna pollution issues. All of these issues have been raked up by both Arvind Kejriwal and Parvesh Verma in a very direct, back-to-back verbal battle between each other. And this seat therefore is very important, definitely key. Sandeep Dixit, son of the former Chief Minister, is also contesting from this seat from the Congress. However, he is trailing behind both the other candidates. The visuals here are definitely that of celebration, not just because on the New Delhi seat the BJP is leading, but also on the seat of Greater Kailash, Shikha Rai candidate is also leading on this seat. And even from the RK Puram area, the BJP candidate Anil Sharma is leading on this seat. And however, what I also must bring to your notice is that the Delhi Cant area, on that seat, the Aam Aadmi Party candidate Virendra Kadian is leading and the BJP candidate is trailing. So that is one seat wherein the Aam Aadmi Party has taken a lead over in the New Delhi constituency area. However, of course, this is the seat from where the CM face was highly anticipated. Will it be Kejriwal, Arvind Kejriwal or Parvesh Singh Sahib Verma? From the looks of it at this point, it looks like it
Tanushka, again a very all-comprehensive commentary coming out from Tanushka there, from the BJP's chief ministerial hopeful, Mr. Sahib Singh Verma's Mr. Sahib Singh Verma's son's latest position. Parvesh Sahib Singh Verma. Many say that he is actually the BJP's chief ministerial hopeful. I will go to Mr. Nalin Kohli now. Mr. Nalin Kohli, coming back to you, if you can, at this juncture when it looks like that your party has comprehensively made a very resounding comeback nearly after 3 decades, put your finger on the factors that swung it for the BJP this time. Not so much from the negative aspects of Mr. Kejriwal, but what the BJP got right.
Actually, it's a combination of both. It's a good question. There is obviously the incumbent who will be put to evaluation and examination by the voters. And that incumbent is Mr. Kejriwal and his team. I've already spoken about how it's a model of bluster, fake promises and zero delivery. A blame game and excuse on everything under the sun. That is one side. The other side is you have a model that you can compare with. Let's not forget Delhi's unique position. It is the capital of India. It is the seat of power of the central government. The central government is headed by the elected Prime Minister through Lok Sabha, which is also located here. The ministries are here. The President of India is here. The Prime Minister, all the major ministries are here. So therefore, people of Delhi see that. People of Delhi see governance at 3 levels. They see it at a national level, at a state level, and at a municipal level. All 3 simultaneously. Now in all of it, they see Prime Minister Modi's government and the vision. They see BJP governments bordering Delhi. In this case, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. They see Rajasthan, which is literally around the corner, just beyond a little bit of Haryana. So 3 governments are in close proximity to Delhi. They see the BJP model in terms of following what the central government is doing. They see the focus on development. They see the focus on delivery on the promises in terms of various assistance that has to be given to the weaker sections. They see the infrastructure change. They read about the infrastructure change because the national media is also situated in Delhi. They see the global impact of what work is being done by the central government under Prime Minister Modi. They see how the world speaks about India, and then they see how they are living in the city of Delhi and what their government, which is Mr. Kejriwal's government, is doing. I mean, it makes a fascinating comparison. It makes a nauseating comparison on a daily basis. That till when will they stop? When will they stop complaining and do their work? 3 subjects in the list are missing: land, police, and 1 more related to services, if I recall. The Aam Aadmi Party has to just work. For everything, they have an excuse. They have someone to blame. Neerja ji will always talk about. Neerja ji spoke about saying that there is also the role of the LG and all. But in fairness, the LG as the Chief Minister of Delhi is bound by the oath of the Constitution to protect and preserve it and to ensure it runs in a proper way. How can you not put the CAG report in the assembly? And this is the great RTI activist, Mr. Kejriwal and his team. They came on RTI applications in India against corruption, and you run away from the CAG report just because it has details of the so-called Sheesh Mahal. So the people and the voters of Delhi see all this. They are an educated, informed, highly politically aware voter. And you have to compliment them for giving a very, very, very long rope to Mr. Kejriwal and his team. 10 years. In 10 years, the only question to be asked is Delhi better or worse? And the answer is not difficult to find. It's certainly not better.
Mr. Kohli, there, very comprehensive roundup of the strengths of the BJP and the follies of the Aam Aadmi Party. Thank you, Mr. Kohli. Thank you very much. As always, a pleasure to have you on air. Let me go back to Tannu. And as I said, that the hottest political contest, and as Rashid Kidwai said, the prestige battle of the Delhi elections, the New Delhi seat. Tanushka, what is the latest that you stand on? What is the latest that is coming in? Who's leading? By how many votes? And how many rounds have been completed?
Yes, sir. So right now at the New Delhi constituency seat, wherein the counting center at Gold Market is underway, we have round 9 that has been completed of vote counting, and what we have is that Parvesh Verma is still leading at 19,200 whereas Arvind Kejriwal, the former Chief Minister, is trailing by 1,170 vote share. The visuals that we are showing you here is that of high spirits and celebrations here. Party workers and people have gathered already to celebrate the BJP's, win, or rather being ahead at this point in the New Delhi constituency seat. Remember that this is a very important seat here with a triangular contest between a former Chief Minister and two sons of former Chief Minister, Parvesh Singh Sahib Verma, son of Singh Sahib Verma, and Sandeep Dixit, son of Sheila Dixit from the Congress. Sandeep Dixit is of course trailing behind both of these candidates, and this seat here is also important because it's come out to be, the Chief Ministerial seat. The Chief Minister would most probably be from this seat, whichever party, makes it. The lead is right now with the BJP's candidate Parvesh Verma, and Parvesh Verma and Arvind Kejriwal have seen quite the heated, altercations between each other during the election campaigns, during the election seasons as well, be it fake voter manipulation allegations, addition of fake voters to the list, the Yamuna politics, the water politics, the air pollution politics, all of these, even, going constantly to the election commission, both of these big faces have had it out with each other in their campaignings, and today is the culmination of all of these allegations, all of these issues and matters raised by both the parties, finally to come about to what Delhi decides. And from the looks of it, Delhi is deciding to lead with Parvesh Singh Sahib Verma on this New Delhi constituency seat.